Hello, I'm John.
I'm Anne.
We've been married nearly 40 years, and like many people our age, we worked hard, we saved hard all our lives. Together, we've been able to create a pension income from 4 flats we've slowly accumulated over that time.
But all our flats have been hit by the cladding scandal. That alone says something about the state of the building industry when 100% of our properties bought over the decades are deemed substandard despite having passed all the building and fire regulations.
The real issue for us and for tens of thousands like us is that on Valentine's Day 2022, the government arbitrarily and I think accidentally created a leasehold ownership status called non-qualifying, which means that some leaseholders face uncapped costs whilst others are protected. One of the triggers to being non-qualifying is owning 3 or more properties, as those owners are deemed to be commercial.
And that's really upsetting because we're not commercial. We didn't want to be a burden on the state or our children, which is why we did this.
Yeah, and ironically, we're penalised harder because we own them as husband and wife in joint names. If we own them independently, then between us, we qualify for protections until we got to 6 properties.
Feels like we've been punished for being married and for working hard all our lives planning for our retirement. We're being hit with big bills that we can't afford, despite the government stating over and over that all leaseholders are innocent. Where does it end?
Well, unfortunately for us, it doesn't, because unless they change the law, even when a building is fixed, that non-qualified status remains with the lease of that apartment in case new defects emerge in the future.
No one is going to buy a flat that has a non-qualifying lease. I certainly wouldn't, and no solicitor would allow it.
I think this has to be an unintended consequence. It was done by a Conservative government. We represent typical voters they ought to be protecting. Thousands of leases are caught up. Many are entry-level first-time buyer flats, so it's going to stall the market. And of course, if non-qualifying leaseholders in a block can't afford to pay, it'll hold up the remediation for the whole block, despite the government stating it wants repairs to be done at pace.
It's just totally unjust. It makes no sense, and it really needs to be changed. We are totally innocent in all of this, and this is destroying lives.